Okay. I'm Tamia, and we're about to do the history of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the United States. Dated back to 1865, it was on June 19th that the Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed at Galveston, Texas with news that the war had ended and that the enslaved were now free. Note that this was 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which had become official January 1st, 1863. The Emancipation Proclamation had little impact on the Texans due to the minimal number of Union troops to enforce the new executive order. However, with the surrender of General Lee in April 1865 and the arrival of General Granger's regiment, the forces were finally strong enough to influence and overcome the resistance. Later attempts to explain this 2.5-year delay in the receipt of this important news have yielded several versions that have been handed down through the years. Often told is the story of a messenger deliberately withheld by the enslavers to maintain the labor forces on the plantation. And still another is that federal troops actually waited for the slave owners to reap the benefits of one last cotton harvest before going to Texas to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation. All of which, or neither of these versions, could be true. Certainly, for some, President Lincoln's authority over the rebellious states was in question. For whatever the reasons, conditions in Texas remained status quo, well beyond what was statutory. One of General Granger's first orders of business was to read to the people of Texas General Order Number 3, which began most significantly with, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and free labor." The reaction to this profound news ranged from pure shock to immediate jubilation. While many lingered to learn from this new employer to employee relationship, many left before, though these offers were completely off the lips of their former masters, attesting to the very conditions on the plantation and the realization of freedom. Even with nowhere to go, many felt that leaving the plantation would be their first grasp of freedom. North was a logical destination, and for many it represented true freedom. While the desire to reach many family members in neighboring states drove some to Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Settling into these new areas as free men and women brought on new realities and the challenging of establishing a heretofore non-existent status for black people in America. Recounting the memories of that great day in June of 1865 and its festivities was served as motivation as well as a release from the growing pressures encountered in their new territory. The celebration of June 19th was called and grew with more participation from descendants. The Juneteenth celebration was a time for reassuring each other, preparing and gathering remaining family members. Juneteenth continued to be a highly revered day in Texas decades later, with many former slaves and descendants making an annual pilgrimage back to Galveston.